Hello, my name is Kimberly Bryan, and I'm doing a presentation based off of a research paper that I did about contemporary artist Dohosa. So who is Dohosa? Dohosa is a contemporary artist who is known for his sculptures and installations. He was born in South Korea. He studied at Yale University and Rhode Island School of Design. When So came to America, he felt left out, felt out of place, and he had to adjust to a new lifestyle for living in America. His works seemed to be mostly representational, exploring home and space, and he created sculptures that show off the many homes that he lived throughout his lifetime. So created sculptures related to military and his home. He served a full term in South Korea, and his more famous pieces of art are titled Someone or Metal Jacket, a sculpture that is made out of stainless steel military dog tags, Almost Home, which is an installation piece made of fabric, Public Figures, a sculpture that sat inverted so that the top of the pedestal is empty and the pedestal is carried by 100 small men. Modern art in the 19th century began to change as artists created what they wanted rather than being told what to create. These artists focused on symbolism and iconography as avenues for depiction of their subjective experiences, stated by the Modern Museum of Learning. Dohosa has created his own unique style of art. Others find his work very recognizable. His work is very visual and personal to the people who view Sa's work. He, as an artist, the main goal for every piece of artwork is to get the audience to react and to have their own feelings towards a piece. So his more recognizable art pieces are Metal Jacket, Falling Star, Public Figures, and Almost Home. Metal Jacket, also known as Someone, is Sa's first sculpture, made completely out of metal dog tags, military dog tags. Sa also created works of art with his own experience. He lived in South Korea. It was mandatory to serve in the military. Sa said that the military is a big part of some Korean men's identity. The jacket almost has a religious figure style to it. The jacket was created in 1992. After the riots in Los Angeles, Koreans were the main focus during this time. They were shown protection, their lives, and homes. Someone started out as a small jacket, looking like an ancient military armor. Then later, Sa expanded the train of the military dog tags with a long train. The metal jacket looks similar to a robe of an emperor or Christ. Fallen Star is an installation of Soho's childhood home. It looks like it's crashing into a building. When Sa came to the United States, he felt as though he was falling and crashing into America. This is where the feeling of the house crashing into the side of a college building comes from. Fallen Star was an experiment for Sa. When creating this experiment, he thought how a house or a home can be part of someone. One of the most complex structures to be made, there were many people who helped make this piece come to life. Many people related this structure to the Wizard of Oz. With the way the house is built into the building, it makes it look like it was dropped from the sky by a tornado. Sa was inspired by the idea of the new students who have left their homes to study and live in a new place. Saha was born in South Korea and moved to America at a young age, and he felt out of place, similar to new college students. When Saha came to America, he thought a lot about what home was. The house is made to look as if someone is really living in it, with a mix of antiques, modern objects. The house was comfortable looking, with furniture and fully wallpapered. There is a steam that comes from the chimney to give the feeling that a resident is staying warm by a fireplace. People felt uncomfortable by the structure, sitting on top of a building on UC San Diego's campus. New students on campus may feel displaced, and that is the feeling that Saha wanted from the falling star. Public Figures. Public Figures is a sculpture created by Dahosa, which is unique because instead of a heroic man posing on top, there are hundreds of tiny men underneath carrying the pedestal. The idea behind this piece is after dark, the sculpture would be placed in a new spot, making seem that the people are moving it. The sculpture changes the attention from the high-powered individual to the mess of people. Stohosa said that the men holding the stone pedestal represents the multiple, the diverse, and anonymous mass, supporting and resisting the stone. The pedestal itself was made out of stone. Saha said that due to funding issues, the many figures were made out of fiberglass, similar to Michelangelo's David, which was created out of bronze. The figure is perfectly sculpted of the ideal man body of a hero proudly standing on top of a pedestal. These two sculptures show their meaning and views in different ways. Historically, Greek and Roman sculptures capture a dramatic story of the Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. They were made out of elegant marble and stone, casted by bronze. Many of the ancient sculptures show a heroic god or beloved goddess standing on a pedestal, some with exaggerated poses. Doho, on the other hand, didn't want to show a heroic god. He made public figures without a leaning man on top of the pedestal. He created 100 of miniature men to hold up the pedestal, possibly symbolizing that the smaller, less important people carrying the hero. Sometimes the hero is not the one doing the saving. Not only that, but Doho wanted the sculpture to seem movable, like the small figures would carry the pedestal from intended spot to another. Almost Home. Almost Home is a collection of work done by Doho to show the representation of home. This was created in 1999. The collection set Doho apart from most other artists. Doho created this collection based off the different homes that he had lived in throughout his lifetime. From his apartment in New York and Berlin to his childhood home in South Korea. Each part of the collection is color-coded. His New York piece is pink, the Berlin is green, and part representing his childhood home is blue. Almost Home is one of Sa's most memorable pieces. Seeing the collection in person is almost magical. Being able to see through the sculpture gives a vulnerable feeling. The fabric medium creates a veil that could be understood that the artist is sharing his life, but is hiding or protecting a part of himself from the world. Asian American art was not the first era to be recognized as a genre. At the start of the 1800s, Asian artists began moving to California to merge Asian tradition with the new Western techniques. By the 1920s, galleries and museums included Asian art works into their exhibitions. When Asians began to immigrate to America, segregation kept them in their own communities. Asians were kept from anything political before the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s, but some already had an interest in visual arts. After World War II, when Expressionism and abstract Expressionism was on the rise, many of the artists in this genre were looking at Asian art as an inspiration. Many historical Asian art is expressionist, like calligraphy, but today, Western artists are getting inspiration from Asian artists. Western artists look to Asian artists and are not only expanding in the Western United States, but also on the East Side in New York. And here are my references.